This might sound crazy, but you know how sometimes you look at an animal and it just doesn't add up? Too fast for no reason. Eyesight way better than it needs to be. You're sitting there like, okay, what is that even for? Turns out there's a real answer for a lot of this. Scientists call it an evolutionary anachronism. Fancy term, but stick with me, it's one of my favorite rabbit holes. Basically, an animal, or a plant, this term started with plants, kept a trait built for a threat that's been dead for thousands of years. Evolution just hasn't caught up yet. Quick plant example. Honey locust trees are covered in brutal spikes, and nothing really eats their leaves anymore. Turns out those spikes were probably there to keep giant ground sloths away. Sloths the size of a car, long gone. Spikes stuck around. Avocados are the flip side. Huge pit, way too big for anything alive today to swallow and spread. There used to be giant animals that could handle it, easy. Now nothing. Built for a species that doesn't exist anymore. That's plants. But a handful of animals do the exact same thing, still built for a threat that isn't there. Found 5 of my favorites, so let's get into it. Number 1. The kakapo. Let's start with a personal favorite. I love this bird because everything about it is a little off in the best way. Heaviest parrot on earth, can't fly, basically forgot how. Gorgeous mossy green. And it smells like honey and flowers. A bird that smells nice. Wild. Kakapos are from New Zealand, which split off from the ancient supercontinent Gondwana about 85 million years ago, and basically did its own thing ever since. No land mammal predators for millions of years. So the birds got weird. Back in the day, kakapos lived alongside giant moas and something called Haast's eagle, a massive eagle that hunted from above using its eyesight. That's where the kakapo's weirdest habit comes from. Corner one in the wild and it doesn't run. It freezes. Which makes total sense if a giant eagle's circling overhead looking for movement. Problem is, Haast's eagle's extinct, but new predators showed up. Stoats, brought over by people, and those hunt by smell, not sight. So freezing just means standing there waiting to get found. The move that used to save its life now works against it. Doesn't help that kakapos have a strong scent, great for finding each other in the dark, also great for a stoat's nose. Even being nocturnal fits. Haast's eagle hunted by day. Good news, numbers are climbing. 51 birds in 1995, around 236 now. Real progress thanks to conservation and predator-free islands. Number 2, the pronghorn. Next, North America. And this one's pure ridiculous speed. Meet the pronghorn. Everyone calls it an antelope, looks kind of like a deer, but it's neither. Its closest living relatives are actually giraffes. Genetics is weird like that. It's also the last surviving member of its family, and it's fast, up to 97 kilometers an hour. Only the cheetah beats it. Here's where it stops making sense. Nothing in North America today can even come close to catching one. Pronghorns are bad on rough terrain, barely jump, and their metabolism runs so hot they have to eat constantly. So why build an animal like this if nothing needs outrunning? There's a theory. The American cheetah roamed North America from about 2.5 million years ago until only around 16,000 years ago, basically yesterday. Looked nearly identical to a modern cheetah, though not closely related. Some think it hunted the same way, and that's what pushed pronghorns to evolve this kind of speed. Still debated though, a 2023 study on an American cheetah skeleton found its build closer to a cougar's, an ambush hunter, not a chaser. So maybe it wasn't racing pronghorns after all. What do you think? Drop it below. Number 3. The mantis shrimp. Switching gears. Underwater, and probably the weirdest one on this list. Mantis shrimp have been around 400 million years. That's about 170 million years before dinosaurs, and over 1,000 times longer than humans have existed. Different species hunt differently. Some are spearers, snagging prey like a praying mantis, which is where the name comes from. Others are smashers, clubbing shells to pieces. Effective, but not really the anachronism here. The real head-scratcher is their eyes. Each eye sits on its own stalk, moves independently, and can judge depth in 3 dimensions, all by itself. Most animals, us included, need 2 eyes working together to do that. A mantis shrimp does it with 1. They've also got a huge field of view and can see ultraviolet light and something called circularly polarized light. Basically, nothing else on Earth can naturally do that. It's kind of overkill for what they need today. So why'd they evolve eyes this insane? One theory, the ocean used to be clearer, so more UV reached where they live, and that vision mattered more back then. Another theory says there was a predator with next-level camouflage, and only that kind of depth and texture detection could spot it in time. Number 4. The ring-tailed lemur. Next stop, Madagascar. This one got to me a little. About 98% of lemur species are threatened with extinction, the most endangered mammal group on the planet. Mostly on us, deforestation, hunting. But they've got natural predators too, and the big one's the fossa, a cross between a cat and a mongoose. Lemurs make up around half its diet. Ring-tailed lemurs let out a loud alarm call the second a fossa's spotted, warning everyone nearby. Works great, but they do the exact same panicked call for birds of prey overhead. And there's no bird in Madagascar today big enough to take down a full-grown one. So why the fear? There used to be one. The Malagasy crowned eagle ruled the skies until about 500 years ago. Roughly golden eagle-sized, more than capable of snatching a lemur from the trees. It would have been a top predator alongside the fossa and an extinct crocodile called the voay. Humans hunting it and wrecking its habitat likely wiped it out. Number 5. Père David's deer. Last one. My favourite because there's actual video proof of this, not just a theory. Père David's deer are originally from China, grazing river valleys. Today they're basically extinct in the wild. Nearly everyone alive lives in captivity. Overhunting and habitat loss hit hard through the 1800s, then flooding and hunting during the Boxer Rebellion nearly finished them off. Right before they vanished from China, 18 were shipped to Woburn Abbey in England for captive breeding. Every Père David's deer alive today, around 8,000 of them, traces back to that one small group. That's the entire bottleneck. Some have since been reintroduced to the wild, a genuine conservation win. But while in captivity, keepers noticed something strange. In 2011, researchers played sounds to these deer. Remember, their ancestors hadn't been wild in over 1,000 years. Harmless sounds like crows and predator sounds, tigers, which used to hunt them in China. The second the tiger sounds played, the deer lost it. Tried to bolt immediately. Some even ate less for a while after. Genuinely stressed. 1,000 years removed from the wild, and they still remembered to be terrified of a tiger. Kind of incredible. Sounds cruel, I get it, but this testing matters for reintroduction. If an animal's totally lost its fear of predators, releasing it back is basically a death sentence. Short-term stress, big long-term payoff. So, 5 animals, 5 ghosts basically, still reacting to threats that vanished long ago. Kind of eerie when you sit with it. Nature doesn't update its software that fast. There's plenty more stories like this I could have covered, so if you know one, drop it below. I read every comment. That's it for this one, though. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.